Hey guys, and welcome back to another Overwatch video. In this one, we're going to be talking about how a single mechanic to the game systems completely changed Overwatch forever. And this one will be a little bit unique because it's actually something recent. I think most of you are kind of getting the idea as to where I'm going. But anyways, if you guys do enjoy this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and let's just dive straight into it. So, roll Q. That was the biggest mechanic that has changed Overwatch. And this video and the conversation you and I are about to have is very unique because it's new. It's not something I'm talking about a year ago, 2 years ago, or even 3 years ago. It's something that's just occurred. And it's changed the game drastically, for the most part, for the better. Introduced and released July 18th, Roll Lock, or Roll Q, has received, for the most part, positive feedback. Of course, people do have some gripes, but in general, it's done a really good job in removing a lot of the toxicity that comes to selecting heroes. Now, I cannot say it fixed the game perfectly, but I do not think the game could ever be fixed perfectly, in the sense that you might have two DPS who just both want to snipe on attack even though maybe they're not doing so well. That's something that you cannot change, but that's in any ranked game and in any game in general, so I don't believe it's that big of a deal. It's just for the most part better, a little bit less stressful, and a little bit more enjoyable. Of course, another big thing is that it cemented the death of GOATs, which was the worst meta in any video game, basically in the entire history of video games. It was really bad, and GOATs was horrible, and Rolllock came to fix that and kind of cement other metas into the game, but in a way that's healthy. So now metas are shifting based off of hero balance changes, which is normal, but are also always restricted. If they buff 3 tanks, you're gonna have to play only 2 of them. You can't just run all 3 of them and risk something like GOATs occurring again. That's just a small example. If they buff Winston and a bunch of dive heroes, you are still restricted in playing 2-2-2, which should allow Blizzard to make a lot more smart changes and a lot more effective changes that keep the game a little bit more fun. Another huge change that I think is kind of understated is how it came into quick play pretty fast, actually. So quick play originally was just the way that normal ranked play worked, in the sense of how you choose your hero and go about the game, but after the major change of Roll Queue and implementing it into the quick play, I actually think things just got better even for us casual players. Now, I may have to wait 12 minutes to play DPS, but in the end, at least I am playing a role that I enjoy without 5 other people also playing that same role, and then no one can get kills, no one's actually practicing the DPS they wanted to practice, no one's improving, and it's just, mayhem. Doesn't go very well. I really despised quick play and despised ranked. I actually didn't play a normal Overwatch game personally for 2 to 3 years. Actually, I don't think I really ever played a normal Overwatch game ever since the arcade was released, since it was just a lot more of a fun way to enjoy casual Overwatch. Now, if the arcade is in a rotation that I don't personally enjoy, I still open up the game. I still play because quick play offers a competitive yet casual atmosphere, while, the game isn't just a total mess. And best of all, it allows you to get better for ranked a lot smoother, which I think is very important. I can transition into ranked after practicing in a similar environment. So in that sense, the way it changed quick play was, to me personally, a 10 out of 10. Not everyone will agree, and that's absolutely fine. Now, how it changed rank particularly is different. I guess we have to scale back and understand from bronze to top 500 and then into the pro scene how the game changed. Because, believe it or not, the game changed for everyone, which of course you'll believe it, but it changed it for everyone in a different way, which is a little bit harder to grasp. In the bronze, silver, gold, plat, and even diamond category, things I believe got significantly better, because especially gold plat, which is where a majority of the players lie, when you went into a game previously, it was just, if you weren't willing to fill the game was going to be unfun before you got into the ranked match. That's my personal opinion, and I know a lot of people agree with me as well. Now, moving on up to, let's say, Diamond, Master, Grandmaster, Top 500, and honestly, this also affected Platinum and Gold. There was also the thing, okay, so let's say you got into a match before, and this happened a lot, no one can disagree. You got into a match, 6 people, you and 5 others, and to your surprise and to your magnificent luck, they're all actually very nice people, with voice chat, communicating peacefully. Sound like heaven? Sound unrealistic? Sound like a dream? For most of us it is, but it does happen, and it's a really good feeling when it does. But then when it does occur, 3 of you are actually DPS mains, the other 3 play tank, no one's ever touched a support, and the game is lost in frustration, even with genuinely good players who are ready to adjust, attempt to play, etc., but just got unlucky because of matchmaking. This was actually, to me, the underlying and worst problem that occurred over and over and over. But Role Queue really did fix that. I mean, you're getting into a match, 2 people who pick support better be knowing how to play support, 2 people who picked tank better know how to play tank, and the 2 people who picked the DPS better know how to play DPS. And this is a problem that I believed was going to happen before, in which, let's say those 2 people picked DPS, but they just felt like playing DPS, but they're not actually good. Overwatch responded by saying that each rank was going to be different depending on your role, and they fixed that issue as well. They implemented Role Queue in a very smart fashion. If it is up to me to say, I would say that the single best decision that Blizzard made for Overwatch, and the biggest change that they made, was this one, and it was really well executed. I cannot applaud them enough for it. Was it overdue? Yes. Did it take way too long? Yes. Could they have tried to fix things way earlier, even if it wasn't through Role Queue, like GOATs, etc.? Yes. But there's no point of dwelling on the past. We do have what we have now, and I believe Overwatch is in a much better state than it ever has been. So the next big thing to tackle is how will it continue to affect the future, since Blizzard is not under any sort of immunity now. Actually, even though I genuinely do believe that Overwatch is in a much better state, we still do have Sigma and Orisa, and a lot of this tanky shield meta going on right now, which kind of resembles GOATs a ton and still brings on that very boring gameplay. It's just a little bit more tolerable than it was with GOATs. So again, Blizzard is under no immunity, but it's obvious to state that how hero changes occur, so heroes are added, are ultimately going to decide what changes in the meta and the overall playstyle. Now, I genuinely believe, as long as Blizzard puts a lot of thought into the new heroes that they add and the changes that they make, Role Lock will just enhance everything. The Role Queue will enhance the game from top to bottom. When a new hero is released into the game with Role Queue available, it's just a different feeling. The people who are maining support, let's say top 500 supports, who are queuing up for support, get a new support hero, they know that this is a new hero in my category. How can I master him? How can I play her? Whatever. And how will it affect the rest of the game? I just believe it's a lot more organized and a less spontaneous. When Brigitte was added, it took a while for GOATs to form, and once it did, it lasted a year. In this case, I think new heroes will form metas or change metas a lot quicker, and when Blizzard changes or balances heroes, it will affect metas much quicker. And this is just because of the controlled environment that is Role Queue. There's less random experimentation of 3 tanks and 3 supports, just throw DPS out the window. That's no longer a choice for people. So in such a controlled environment, Blizzard should be able to make much closer changes to the game. And with BlizzCon coming up very soon, there is a lot riding on what they're going to announce, especially since there's rumors about more than one hero being announced, which would be huge. How could the game handle more than one hero being introduced when there was something like Brigitte that completely changed the meta? And it will be handled because of Role Queue, and I think this is very smart. But anyhow, it is about time to wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed it, consider hitting that like button and maybe subscribe. And I want to leave you off with a question. How much do you like Role Queue? Do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? Will it change Overwatch? Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.